So one of the rules that's of particular interest to me is around God's name.
Yes.
So in the Gemara and the Talmud, it says that a Torah scroll in which one single instance of the name is written without the proper intent, the whole scroll is invalid. So to tell us what that means.
Okay, so there's this concept called kavanah, which the word
intention.
Kavanah is spiritual intention.
Yeah.
And there's no blessing for writing or fixing a Torah. There is no blessing for it. But what you have to do is make a statement. And that statement is largely around, I am doing this. Behold, I am doing this for the sake of the holiness of the Torah, the Tefillin, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And then when you get to God's name, and there are several versions of God's name, obviously.
Right. So in other words, it's God's personal name and titles are 7 different.
It's 10, I think, that you have to kind of think about. And you stop and you go, I am writing this for the sake of God's holiness. Right? If you don't do that, then it is, go back to that idea of it's kosher or pasul. Looks like God's name's been written fine.
Right.
But actually, it hasn't been written with the right spiritual intention. It's one of the reasons why you can't print a Torah. You can't,
because the machine has no intention.
And there was a robot Torah. There was a robot writing a Torah in Berlin, right? And I got really quite irate about this because it was not writing a Torah. It was writing a chumash, which is like the 5 books of Moses in a printed form. Because a robot can't have spiritual intention. Only a human can have the holiness to imbue that Torah.
So this is a key concept here. So it's not just an act of artisanship. Writing the scroll is a holy act.
Yes.
It's a sanctified act.
Which is why a software needs to be ethical. They need to be in the right kind of frame of mind. There are some times where I can't do the work because if something has terribly upset me, then I can't do the work because I don't have the right frame of mind. You can't concentrate either, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And if you've had a particularly bad day, you just don't feel that you've got the right intention. Right. On the other hand, if you have the right intention, there was a big power cut here the other day. My son phoned me up. He said, Aryeh phoned me up. He said that, Dad, there was a power cut. Did you not notice? I said, no, I was fixing Torah. Apparently it was 20, 40 minutes. I don't know how long it was. I had no clue.
Because you were in the zone.
I was in the zone.
So it's really interesting. So I was looking at this one Torah scroll, and there's a verse where I believe it was Genesis, I want to say 24, where he says Adoni. And what the scribe had done is written that word, Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, but with the intention of it being a sanctified word.
Right, which is wrong.
So he cut out with a razor Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, referring to God, and rewrote it as Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, meaning my Lord, referring to a human. And I was thinking, like, this is incredible. It's literally the same 4 letters, but it's the intent that goes into it that is key in that instance.
And I mean, I know of one software who is so dexterous, he can slice off the top of the parchment with God's name on it, without disturbing. I couldn't possibly do that. You need the hands of a surgeon, I think. And he slices it off, and then he's got clean parchment underneath to write on. That's very impressive. Yeah. It scared the living daylights out of me because you're not allowed to damage God's name.
Right. You're not allowed to erase a single letter.
You're not allowed to erase it.
Wow.
So if you've got a problem with God's name, then there are, again, a whole raft of rules, and you have to look up the different.
And Kesed HaSofer goes on for numerous pages. He has these excursions.
Kesed is not by far. I mean, it's not actually the Halakha L'Maaseh. It's not actually the doing Halakha. There are other books over and above that. There's Mishnah Sofer, which is a commentary on Kesed HaSofer. There's the Mishnah Berurah on Tefillin, which is kind of slightly different. There's a whole raft of different halakhic texts and different opinions. So the Taz sounds like the Taz is not Australian. It's not the Australian. The Taz is the rabbi. He's very lenient. So sometimes you go, you get to a repair that somebody else has done in the past. Could you leave it? The Taz probably says, yeah, it's okay. Other people might be stricter. In which case you've got to work out in your head what you feel comfortable with.
Wow.